Okay, so here is a good example of what I mean when I say, it's not the drugs. It really isn't the drugs. But here's an example of where, like, we have an issue here with this sign that we don't really consider, a big deal normally. But I've noticed that there is actually a huge relationship that we've been, like a blind spot, that we've been neglecting. And it's how the words that we use are actually mapping the environment and mapping our decisions, mapping our options, and so on and so forth. So now hiring, okay? I don't know if you noticed, but that is actually a word that also is describing something that is high up. So I know it's really easy to disagree with that because it doesn't say that it's higher, and it's not comparing anything like that's lower, but in a way it actually is, because it's describing something that has a hierarchy and a comparison in terms of status. So it is inquire within or call or text. Okay, so inquire. Does town crier come to mind at all? And if so, do you see that there's someone who's crying in that word? So that reminds me of the Trail of Tears, not just because of the crying, but if it's the town crier, it's like kind of a big one. And it's like kind of like a banshee. But in this case, I'm going to go with La Llorona. And right now I don't have the video to kind of like explain it and to show the relationship, but this is what I got. So here there's the crow. That looks pretty accurate. Why is he crying? I don't know. Maybe his mom was turned into a vehicle, to a Jeep Grand Cherokee. Or maybe he just finally was able to emerge from that and he's forever changed, you know? I mean, this is a great picture too of Stallone, where it's like, he's like earned it, right? He's a fighter. He's been fighting, and he's taking a seat in a nice comfy chair, but he still is on the road. You know what I mean? He's not neglecting that, and he is in Oklahoma, which is where the Trail of Tears ended. So that seems kind of like it's linked there, and he's also connected to Rocky Balboa, but also to a boa constrictor, and the snake and all that, and the Vikings, and the way that works is essentially it's like a worm, so we're all connected. Now here, this is the other side of the argument, and you know how I feel about Serenity. I mean, for one thing, it makes me think of sarin gas now, and I am not that surprised, considering how people treat each other over something it's so ridiculous. But whatever, gotta have someone take the blame, right? We're still playing the scapegoat game. So this might be a little bit different, though. This might actually be something that's intended to be the opposite of what I'm automatically kind of assuming. So I would love to see that, actually, to see it myself proved wrong. But yeah, I'm pretty sure that this might be the opposite. But okay, let's just suspend that plot for a second and just consider the word serenity, and how it does feel like at times people are willing to kill each other over the right to get a job, and the right, the right to tell the other person how to take a back seat, you know, even though it's not an Olympic game, but whatever. And I chose this one to kind of back that one because, well, from my point of view, it's insidious. It's insidious when we have those kinds of differentiating labels. I mean, personally, my big thing is, are you able to get along with others under normal circumstances, or are you not getting along with them because they are insidious? You know, they're inside of you, basically mining you and determining what it is that you have of value that they can access, kind of like a Tomb Raider. Because for some reason, a person who is doing drugs tends to be especially vulnerable to that. I don't know why, but it does happen a lot. So that alone should be enough of a reason not to want to do it. But a lot of times I think people get jealous and they don't really understand what it is that is so special for them. So they do it out of curiosity to see why that person's doing it, when really they should just man the fuck up and do it. Then they'd answer their question instead of having to poke around in someone else's personal, experiences to see why they do it. And, honestly, like, anyone who's doing that should really be that person's lover that's like, trying to understand what it is that they need to do in order to be a better lover, instead of, what it is that the other person needs to do in order for that person to be a better lover. That's ridiculous. Anyway.